Welcome to the channel. My name's Captain Crush. We're running a little behind today, but we have an NFL Monday Night Showdown tonight, and we have NBA. We have 11 games, a monster of a slate. We should have our pick of the litter here. I appreciate you tuning in. If you want to get started, stick around, and I'll give you a couple of my favorite plays on the board. So without further ado, let's break this puppy down. First things first, I got a lot of people that watch these videos. You're not subscribed, and you don't like or comment in the video. Guys, leave your comments. Let me know what you guys like. It helps me communicate with you guys, and it lets me know what you guys like to see in these videos. Otherwise, I'm flying blind. I need some feedback. If you have positive or negative things to say, whatever, I don't care. If you want to like the video, it helps me out, and if you subscribe, that helps me out too. Appreciate it. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk turkey. And by turkey, I'm talking about Jaylen Brown. First, I like his points at 20.5. I know it's not sexy, it's not fun. Let's scoot on over here to StatMuse, where we can see last season he played 67 games and he was attempting 20 field goal attempts. I love to see it. Average minutes per game, 35. Listen, this is all we have to go on. I'm not going to go by just the 2 games that he's played this season. Let's go by previous data. That's all we got. So, that being said, last game, I believe he chucked 20 plus shots as well. The first game, his shot was terrible. I had under on him and he cashed. Full disclosure, the model system that I use is telling me to take less on his fantasy score, but I don't really buy it. I'm taking more. He's in a pace-up spot. Washington doesn't really play a lot of defense. They move at a fast pace, so I targeted that. I also want to talk about one other one from that same game. I'm going to go ahead and throw his name out right now. Jordan Poole. I am not a fan of him. We have arguments in the Discord all the time about Jordan Poole's worth, but I will say this. If they have any chance of beating Boston tonight, it's going to be because Kuzma and Poole and a splash of Denny Avdija are hitting shots. It's going to be that simple. So hopefully Jordan Poole can chuck up 20 to 25 times and sink about 23 points worth, because that's what I'm going to need for him to cover this bet right here. 22.5. I will take more. Don't like it. Don't love it, but I need a run back for Jaylen Brown. And I also have another one, Mr. Porzingis, because everybody knows he used to play for the Wizards. Do I think it's a revenge game? Not really. There's no reason to have revenge. Who wants to play for the Wizards? He absolutely got lucky getting out of there. Now he's on a championship caliber team. But that in mind, I do like his fantasy score. Why? Here's why. Okay, Porzingis has 1.3 fantasy points per minute. I have him simulated for about 33 to 35 minutes. So if you do the math right there, he's going to cover. He has a 22% usage rate. Again, same situation as Jaylen Brown. He's in a pace-up spot, so I'm going to take more there. There's a ton of mouths to feed on Boston, so I do not recommend taking Brown and Zinger in the same contest. Listen to me carefully, because some of you clowns, you come on here, you skip through the video trying to take shortcuts, and you click and just see, oh, what's he putting in his slip? And just for that, I'm going to do this number and throw you off. I'm crazy like that. I don't care. Okay? So don't put them in the same contest. That's foolishness. If you were going to put them in the same contest, you better be loading up on Denny, Poole, and a lot of them. So pick your one you like. I made arguments for both sides. I'm not going into a full analytical breakdown here, folks. I will be doing that later in the season when more data is out, but for now, I'm trying to keep it quick. I'm trying to keep it brief. I'm already running behind here. Next, I want to talk about this mountain of a man, Cam Thomas. This kid is an absolute banger when it comes to fantasy. I don't care what anyone says. He's going to be playing in a pace-up spot, an elite matchup versus the Charlotte Hornets, who don't play any defense whatsoever. 32 fantasy points. I like it. 23.5 points. I love it. Either one of these, if he sells, well, I'm losing coin tonight. It's really that simple. I got him at 1.58 fantasy points per minute with a usage rate of 35%. Granted, it's a small sample size, but that right there, that came straight from multiple websites. I had to double check. It's absolutely insane. So if he does happen to play 30 minutes tonight, take 1.58 times 30 and he soars over 32. That's not a guaranteed science, folks. It's a median projection. But whenever we have a discrepancy like that, we got to take it. All right? So if you think he's going to go over his points, take his points. If you think he's going to go over his fantasy score, take that. I have both situated in a couple different ones around him. Okay? Either or is fine. So if you want to just run a 2-man banger right there, Zinger, and then you have Thomas. And if you want, you could take his points and his points as well in another one and leave the fantasy points to the birds. Either one of those things is fine. Now, I want to transition and go over and talk about the NFL, where the big boys play, the no fun league. So let me talk to you for a second about NFL, okay? Here's the deal. I have a ton, and I mean a ton. Off the top of my head, 5 different websites that I use. Tool simulators for NBA and NFL, optimizer projections, DGF, OddsJam, all the websites websites that you could think of. I have them because I like to get the data from everywhere that I can and put it together and break it down for my audience, Discord, and for you guys. I try to make it all easy and nice. Then I do my projections from the simulations. I tweak them. I use my own inputs, and this is what I came up with, okay? I'm not going to focus on this a lot because this is for my Discord people, but I just want to give you a snapshot of what they get. Every Sunday, I do all the players, and I make it easy to digest for you guys. I do write-ups and breakdowns usually. I didn't last week because I had a lot going on. I also had a crazy sweat on DraftKings. I almost shipped it all, but I needed Jawan Jennings, and he put up a 0 burger. You hate to hear it. You hate to see it. But that's just the world we live in, okay? So with that in mind, I want to talk about Jakobi Meyers. 6 receptions. I have him targeted for 9 times, 6 receptions, 75 yards, 15 fantasy points. Mr. Adams, 10.5 targets, 7 receptions, 19.5 fantasy points for 90 yards. And then Mr. Gibbs on the other side of that coin, 84 rush yards, which I think this is too high. This came out of my simulation pop, and it's a little bit too high. I think it's favoring the Detroit Lions to win by too much, and that's why that's higher than normal. And then 21 fantasy points. I did target his fantasy points on DraftKings. It's 18. So with all that in mind, and I will say something about the Sun God, St. Brown. He is questionable. He will probably end up playing, but he does have some type of a sickness, and not the same sickness as you and I, which is the gambling sickness, but an actual sickness like the flu, okay? Pat Mahomes had that sickness yesterday, and look what happened. They got beat by the garbage Broncos. You do not see that coming. Nobody saw that coming. Pacheco sold the 10x bag. Yesterday was a good day in NFL for me. Not for everyone, but for a lot of people it was. I saw a lot of W's. Proud of you guys. Keep grinding it out and the results will come. The ones of you that aren't on DraftKings, that aren't playing weekly contests in DraftKings, I'm not talking about the sports book. I'm talking about the fantasy side where it's you versus the player. You are missing out on a ton of value. Get your Rudy Poos over to DraftKings and get started on it because I want to make content for it, and I will if there's enough of a demand. So we can go ahead and throw Jahmyr Gibbs in the mix. I want to say this. I still don't think the Detroit Lions are super high on him. I know that he got a lot of work last week. He soared over, but the point is this, okay? He literally got 27 fantasy points, but if you were just looking at these last 5s, didn't watch the game, all that was in garbage time. He was a total bust at half, and then in the second half, he got his touchdowns, his receptions, he broke a couple long receiving yards. That's how that works. NFL, it's big plays. Anything can happen. Las Vegas, they don't play any defense. I'm not worried about them, so I will take his fantasy score. But the thing is this, folks, if Mr. Gibbs doesn't get a touchdown tonight, you can take this, roll it up into a ball, and toss it in the trash because it's going chalk. Mark my words, if he doesn't get a touchdown tonight, that's chalk. I'm telling you. So if you think he ain't getting in the box, then you need to take a less burger on that or just fade the proposition completely. But I will take more and roll my dice. Next, I want to talk about Jakobi Meyers. Boy, oh boy, do I need a big night from Jakobi Meyers. I'm currently in the lead in season long. I have like an 8-point lead and I have Jakobi left. Same thing with best ball. I'm number 1 in my best ball league on Underdog right now. And I have Jakobi and Josh Jacobs left. Hoo-hoo-hoo! You love to hear it because you know you're soaring over. Either way, if he eats, I got a good chance to stay in first. But the point is this. If you want to attack Jakobi Meyers' fantasy score, you absolutely can. He should get a lot of catches. He should get a touchdown here or there every now and again. We can't predict touchdowns, but he should have some touchdown upside. He does get targeted in the red zone pretty fair amount. If we circle back over to my projections, you can see I have him over here going for 15.5. Now this is full PPR, just like PrizePicks is full PPR, okay? So that means, what's full PPR, Cap? Means every time he catches a ball, bang, point. So if he gets a touchdown, that's 7 points right there, and then he only needs 6.5 more. So if he gets 5 catches, a touchdown, that puts him at 11. You know he's going to get yards. Let's just say he gets 25 yards. That would cover you right there with a push. He's going to get more than 25 yards. Knock on wood. I've seen anything can happen. It's crazy, but I'm not even talking about his fantasy score. I'm just letting you know what's in play. The one that I would like more than that is his receptions over at 5. It gives you some solid push equity, and I also like Devontae Adams, 6 receptions here, okay? I know taking both of these in the same isn't a positive correlation because one will impact the other, but here's the deal. If you want to take them both in the same slip, you can. I don't recommend it. I would choose one or the other. Here's my thing. I have the Lions. I have them losing. I have the Lions winning tonight, which means The Raiders are going to be playing from behind, which is going to favor a narrative where they have to throw the rock. So I hope Adams gets fed. I like his yards too, but I like his receptions more because I think if he doesn't get his yards, he will more likely get fed with those receptions. Whether he gets 85 or whatever the number is here or there. The Lions have an insane run defense. It's funny. A lot of people may not realize this, but the Lions were one of the people you attacked the running backs against all the time last season. Now they changed it up, and now they're literally not someone you want to run on. So you don't want to target running backs versus the Lions. Now it's a same game parlay. We work with what we've given, but I'm very low on Josh Jacobs tonight. I think he plays an extremely good role in the receiving game tonight, but not so much in the rushing game. Could be wrong. Anything can happen, but that's my take. That's just one man's take. Please don't take me outside behind the barn and pull the trigger. I'm just asking you guys to think outside the box, okay? So either one of those men are fine. We talked about Jacoby Myers fantasy. What else do I want to talk about here? The field goal kickers on a primetime game are always in play. Anytime you get a primetime, which is Sunday night, Thursday night, Monday night, they're historically lower scoring games, especially on the short week on Thursday. So you know the field goal kickers are going to be in play. Dicker the kicker last night crushed. He must have kicked like at least 12 fantasy points for kicking points. I don't know what I just said there, but at least 3 field goals, I think, and one was for 55 plus. It's insane what these kids can do nowadays with their leg. Pause. Anyways, Riley Patterson, after that speech I just gave you, bang, less. Like that curveball, bang, less. That's a curveball from me to you, buddy. Why? Because the Lions, they're somebody. Goff plays extremely well at home, number one. 2, they're in a dome, so that goes against me. If I think they're in a dome and he is going to be kicking and low scoring, you'd want to take more. But here's the thing. I don't think they're going to need to take a lot of field goals because I think they're going to have their way. And on top of that, Mr. Campbell is going to go for it on 4th down more than a lot of people. That's just how he is. He's hard-nosed. Okay, but that's for you to make your decision. Next, Josh Jacobs was at 16.5, I believe. I got it under at 16.5, but he's over here at 16 and I'm taking less. I just gave you my reasoning why. I don't think that they're going to run him that much because I don't think they'll be in a situation where they can. I will say this, 16 for a starting running back of his caliber is low, but I haven't seen the breakout game yet for Josh Jacobs where he just gets fed like that. Look at this. He's so inefficient. 11 attempts, 25, 20, 17, 17, and now he's only at 16. He was at 16.5. But what does that tell you? Everything in my brain normally would be saying take more here, right? But the matchup, the way I script the game, I'm taking less. If you think the opposite, you think the Raiders are coming out tonight, they're coming out, they got Jimmy G back in the mix, and they're going to be crushing these Lions, then you better take more, because if you think that, if that is your game script, which is critical to this whole thing, you can throw out everything I said if you script this game to go another way, if you script the Lions are throwing from behind, you need to attack Brown, Goff, Raymond, Reynolds, all the pass catchers, Laporta, fade Gibbs, and target that, and target Jacobs over. That should be what you do if you think the Raiders are coming out tonight and crushing. I just don't see that, but any given Sunday, any given night, any team can beat whatever night. So if the Raiders do get a lead, he's soaring over this. I will say that because that is a low number for a starting running back, but I myself took less. It is critical that you script a game narrative for these football games, especially for the same game parlays, but you should be doing it every single game, every single week for the entire slate if you're betting. If you're just going through here and clicking and listening to what people tell you to do without putting in any of your own research, you're drawing dead. Uninstall. You're never going to win. Promise you that. Now, this last segment, I'm going to give you some darts, some little flyers. Austin Hooper, my model projects him way under this, but if you want to take a dart, you can take more there. They substitute the tight ends. They're a little safety valve for Mr. Jimmy G. Same thing with Michael Mayer. He was at 22.5 on underdog. If you want to take more here and throw a dart at 2.5 receptions or yards, you can. Sam Laporta. I originally got this man at 44.5. Now he's at 48.5, but this is a workhorse. He's literally a younger TJ Hawkinson in the same starting role that he was over in the Lions. They just breed good tight ends, Detroit Lions. They just turn them into elite men among boys like TJ Hawk. Oh boy, TJ Hawkinson. Everybody was talking about how TJ Hawkinson's not one of the best tight ends in the league. My own clowns in my own community Discord. Who's laughing now, buddy? He's top 3, just like I said he would be. Absolutely. Know your roles and listen to TJ Hawkinson's greatness, because every week he's on the field, he's crushing. So you can still take more even at the bump. I still like it. I wouldn't target his receptions receptions, but I would target Laporta's fantasy score. How does he get 11 fantasy points? Easy. He gets a touchdown. If he doesn't get a touchdown, chalk it. But if he gets a touchdown, that's going to be 7 right there. 1 for the catch, 6 for the touchdown. That's 7. He only needs 4 more. Give him 2 more catches. That puts him at 9. And you know he's going to get more than 25 yards. Knock on wood. He would soar over 11. And that's what we're all about here, okay? I'm not trying to go with the under trains that much. I gave you the under on Josh Jacobs because of the game script that I gave, but that would be it. This would probably be my favorite thing here, and throw in Myers, either his receptions, yards, or his fantasy score, and then you have a nice little pick, a little quick pick 5. If you skip to the end of the video and you didn't see the whole video, let me mess this up for you guys so you guys can see that. Yeah, there you go. That's the slip. If you're skipping through the video, you're going to be disappointed because it's totally backward. I'm trolling you live, buddy. Listen to the video because you need to hear what I'm saying. If you just are trying to get spoon-fed some pick, you're never going to win and you're never going to be satisfied. And then you're going to end up in my DMs giving me death threats thinking you know more about the sport than I do, aka T-Pity. That little kid did that to me. I'll never forget that, buddy. Now, I'm over here on Parlay Play, and this is the last thing I want to talk about. Listen, okay? If you stayed to the end of my video the other day, you would have got my Parlay 2-man, which went 2 for 2. It cashed, okay? It was Gus Edwards over and Young and Stroud passing yards under. Cash it, all right? This application is very unique because it lets you take one line a day where you can slide it over. So you can slide it, I'm not logged in, but you can slide it over to 7. So if you wanted to take more, you'd only have to pay for 7. You can do this one time per day on a $10 slip. That is a sweet, cool thing. And what I did for mine is I used it over here on Josh Jacobs. I put him at 17, took less, and I took Conley more, 7.5 rebounds plus assists. This was my 2-man for Parlay Play. If you're new here, you just go to Parlay Play. All the links are in the description. Any of those, Sleeper, Parlay Play, Chalkboard, any of that stuff, you get your full deposit match. And I throw in 30 days of my Discord, guys. You're not going to get a better value. My Discord's $25, so you literally deposit whatever you want. And you get 30 days for that. It's a $25 value. It's a nice little my thank you from me to you, and I give you a free chance to tail my picks and stuff like that and see my projections and my Discord live stream. So with that, I'm going to wrap up the video. I got to get out of here and get on TikTok Live and do a live stream over there. I wanted to say thank you guys for stopping in. I hope you liked the video. If you want to subscribe, it helps me out. Like the video. Good luck in all your contests. As always, here's the salute, and as always, let's crush.